In the corner.
Hello, everybody. As Slava said, this year's budget really is sort of the high mark in terms of our ticking off and achieving our basic budgetary objectives. We're going into our third and final year of retiring the Banco Popular loan, which will be an amazing source of financial freedom thereafter, given that we've been devoting $5 million a year towards that liability reduction. We've also sustained our operating fund decrease year after year, and the funding this year is in the low to $10 million range, which is the lowest figure since 2004 and represents about a 1.5% reduction in our operating expenses year over year from last year. And this, again, is a remarkable achievement for us. The major high mark here is to understand that overall homeowner maintenance is increasing 2.8% year over year, and the overall budget is increasing by 3% on a base of 19 million. And the differential there is simply other income that we bring in that is projected to go up net. Now, the major achievements within the operating fund, so people really understand how could we achieve all this. We're paying down the debt, we're devoting more and more money to capital projects, and yet we're doing this pretty much, you know, at an inflation-like rate of increase. This year, we are benefiting from the outsourcing cost savings. And if we assume an approximate $700,000 of direct expense savings from the outsourcing of those various departments involved, that those savings translated to newfound money for us to inject towards other purposes. And at its simplest, the way I've always viewed this as far as the plan, that 700,000 really has been moved into the R&R fund this year, which we doubled over last year's investment. Last year we contributed 670,000 in homeowner maintenance to the R&R fund for a handful of projects that we could then afford. This year we're contributing over 1.4 million, with the increase being essentially funded by the outsourcing savings. We're also building in and pre-funding our bad debt to the fullest extent, so that if our projections are right, there'll be very little, if at all, any year-end bad debt write-off. In prior years, we estimated bad debt at a certain level and then picked up the balance at year-end, which we'll do again this year, meaning for the 2011 fiscal year. However, in the 2012 budget, we are now fully funding bad debt at a rate of approximately 3%, and hopefully that will hit the mark. Another thing that we're doing in the budget is we are increasing our general contingency up to 375,000 from the 200,000 range that it had been in. The first year we did this was 3 budgets ago. We established a general contingency in the 100,000 range. And then last year, to deal with the mall non-payment, which we are not in a position yet to treat as a bad debt loss, given our priority position with respect to the sale of units and our claim against revenue that would come from that sale. Our accountants have allowed us to take the position and are in agreement that we need not charge it off as a bad debt. However, we need to fund that receivable since it's really just phantom income for us. And we've been funding it last year in part through the general contingency. This year we increased that general contingency to about 180,000 to cover the mall. That's based on estimates of the shortfall of total maintenance requirements from the mall units over the amount of expected payments that we're now getting from the trustee for the last few months. So our annual shortfall, if you will, from the mall has actually been going down from a figure well over 200,000, and now it's contracting, and it's been managed. And this again is one of the major achievements that we've been able to make over the last 2-3 years. We're in horrifically bad economic times. We're dealing with large shortfalls from the mall. We're dealing with large shortfalls from homeowners. And as things presently stand in the current fiscal year, we appear poised to come near to break even. This year's budget going into 2012 is even stronger in that regard. So we're really well positioned to deal with bad debt. We're well positioned to deal with the mall shortfall. We're well positioned to deal with capital projects by doubling our investment. Now Russell and Joe Manzi and the Facilities Committee, as well as the board, had put together input of list items and projects with estimates, and while that is pretty much an evolving process, we are